Hello, welcome back to Reads of an Apple. My name is Stacy and I'm here to do Vlogmas Day 7. If you haven't watched any of my previous Vlogmas videos, I do have them all in one big playlist, so definitely check them out. Excuse my hair. I just got out of the shower and my face, so that's why my face is super red. But yeah, let's just get into it because it is late. I had the Avalanche game tonight and it wasn't on. Puck drop wasn't until like 7, which isn't like a late game, but it's late enough that I'm just like so over it. But I did manage to get today's Novella read, and as well as 1, 2, 2.5 more. So I'm trying to kind of push through as many as I can so that when I have to pick up some of my book club books coming up here, I can have some like already prepped, so I'm not having to read the novella the same day, because my plans changed last minute, which you would know if you saw my first novella thing. But anyway, let's do the tea real quick so my water doesn't completely cool off. So I am doing the 24 Days of Tea by Adagio Teas. If you have not seen anyone talk about Adagio Teas before, they are my favorite tea company, especially for loose leaf. This is the 4th year I'm doing their advent calendar. This is the loose leaf version. The first year I did the bagged version, and then after I really enjoyed it, have not gone back to any other advent calendar. I've tried several other brands, and their loose leaf one, I really recommend trying out their loose leaf one, because they try to do new blends every year, and then they'll bring back some favorites from previous years. But I feel like there's a really good mix of different kinds of teas in here. Herbal teas, white teas, green teas, not gray teas, black teas. I mean, oolongs, pura. I mean, technically those are subsets of other teas. But anyway, I highly recommend Adagio. They are linked down below in all of my videos where I talk about them. So I'm very excited for this. So we're on day 7. So let me pop it out here. I'm excited. And I do have a spreadsheet of the 2 previous years, so 2020 and 2021. And that way I can kind of keep track of my scores and what I'm thinking. So this one does look familiar. And so this is a repeat. It is Earl Grey Bella Luna. And if I remember correctly, this is one of my favorite Earl Grey tea blends ever. So let me just get this turned on and loaded. Earl Grey. Yep, so I gave this 4 out of 5 stars last year, and this was, if you care, December 19th's blend. And then it looks like it was also in 2020's tea calendar, and that was on the December 17th, and at that point I gave it 3 out of 5, so I liked it better last year. But I might have talked about this before. I wasn't the biggest fan of Earl Grey for the longest time until I was re-gifted some tea by a friend who doesn't really drink tea, let alone loose leaf tea, and it was a lavender Earl Grey blend. And since then I have come to fall in love with Earl Grey, especially when it is in a blend and not just straight Earl Grey that you can find in any generic tea brand in your grocery store. So I have since come to really appreciate Earl Grey. But let's talk about what's in it. There we go. So they recommend steeping 3 to 5 minutes at 212 degrees Fahrenheit. And then the ingredients in this one are black tea, coconut, blue cornflowers, natural coconut flavor, natural bergamot flavor, natural cream flavor, and this has high caffeine. And yes, it's 10:30 at night, and I will be going to bed shortly after this. But usually I drink... all I pretty much drink liquid wise is coffee, tea, and water. So it takes super high levels of caffeine to really affect me. Okay, so, yep, this is just a coconutty Earl Grey, but I feel like the bergamot and the Earl Grey is just, because it's a fresh loose leaf Earl Grey, it just has that extra kick to it. And it smells slightly like anise or licorice, and I'd get... That's not in here, but it's weird that I'm getting licorice, although that might be because I was having black licorice earlier tonight. I know a lot of people dislike black licorice, but I am a huge fan of black licorice. And on Black Friday, when we went to World Market, I got some of the Dutch black licorice coins, so they're super hard. And I get the salted ones, not the extra salted, just the normal salted. And I love it because all I need is just like one little coin and I can suck on. Excuse me, I can suck on it, and that gives me like my sweet kick when I'm wanting sweets. But it also kind of gets that salty kick too if you crave salt as well. So I'm a big fan, but especially that. And I know you can buy it online, but I only get like one bag a year when we go to World Market, and we didn't go to Black Market or World Market on Black Friday the past couple of years, so I have not. Oh, I never showed it to you. So, of course, now it's in here. But so that's what it looks like. You can see the blue cornflower petals really pop. And I'm using my rubber ducky infuser so he floats. And I'll show you that in a second. Tonight's mug, I'm using my Avengers podcast mug. I will link them down below. They actually ended up being number 2 in my Spotify Wrapped for podcasts this year, which I'm not surprised about. And it probably, number 1 was my radio show that I listened to. So that's 3 hours a day, Monday through Friday. So they probably wouldn't have beat that, but my listening hours for them would have been a lot higher because I'm also on their Patreon. And so I get all the bonus episodes, but they are mostly a Marvel recap and reactions podcast, but it's just 3 friends, and they've built an amazing community, and they make me laugh, and they, I think, do a really good job at recapping Marvel stuff and hitting on a lot of the like Easter eggs and plot points and things like that. So definitely, if you're into Marvel or nerd culture at all, definitely check out the Avengers podcast. I cannot recommend them more. But while I do my spray here in my hair, the novella that I picked up, the first novella I picked up tonight, which will be today's discussion, is the follow-up to last night's novella, and that is Silent Night. So this is by Cassie Mint. This is the second book in her Very Merry Mob series, and this picks up pretty closely after the previous book. You could read it as a standalone, but I feel like because these are so short, just read them in order. So this one is Dr. Raoul, and he is like the mob doctor, and the mob boss's younger sister, Allegra. So in the previous book, we kind of saw that she was one of the people on the hitman's, like that the hitman had pictures of, so she's kind of had a hit on her. And Raoul somehow convinces, I think Santo, because it hit me in this book. I missed it last book, but his name is almost like Santa, which I'll chat about later after we talk about this book. But he convinces him to kind of for her to go to a safe house, and then he ends up basically making Raoul go with her because he can do the basic bodyguard and check everything. And he's not Diego, who's the right-hand man dude, where he's like the best bodyguard in person to be with safety-wise, but he at least, if something happens, can fix her and heal her, being the doctor. So then we kind of get some backstory between them. So when she was 18-ish, she always had a crush on him. We find out he's more than 10 years older than him. He says more than a decade. So between 10 and 19 years, or 10 and 19 years older than her. Because I feel like if it was 2 decades, it would have been like said 2 decades instead of just more than a decade. So this is an age gap. But she kind of tries to kiss him at like a party or a Christmas party or something like that. And he is just like, whoa, 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 because he feels weird and creepy and like he shouldn't be crushing on her. And apparently, I didn't pick up on this beforehand or in the first book, but Raul, Nico, the hero from the first book, Santo, and Diego have like been friends since childhood. So when I thought Nico was like a little peon or like up in the like upper half of the mob hierarchy, he was really not. He's like but he says in that book he's not one of the right-hand men. But he's been friends with Santo since childhood, so I don't know. Maybe I was just projecting, or who knows. But this weird hierarchy, I don't know what's going on with it. But anyway, he basically was like trying not to make a move, and he felt like he wasn't good enough for her and he was too old for her, and you know, all those more common issues that come up with age gaps. And she gets very hurt and from the rejection of this because she's liked him and no other but him. This is another virgin. She's another virgin heroine, which I wasn't kind of expecting, although here it kind of ish makes sense with her being the mob sister and not that like she was being saved to kind of sell off for her virginity, but more just like she's had a very kind of protective bubble around her, and her brother is super protective, so you think she'd be able to like have a boyfriend, let alone someone to sleep with? Like it made sense here, or at least it made more sense here. Not that it didn't make sense that Leah was a virgin, but anyway. So they are at the safe house for over a week, and he's basically trying to avoid her because she's too tempting, and he notices that it's kind of starting to wear on her, and with him being kind of standoffish, he's noticing that she's kind of curling in more and more on herself. She also feels she's also very sad, where like she has a good relationship with her brother, but at times he can pull out the mob boss persona with her, and so it's not like he's only her brother, and it's very rare that she'll feel that more familial connection with him. And the holidays is one of the few times where it really just kind of they focus in on their more familial relationship. And now that she's been sent to the safe house for a few weeks, she won't be able to celebrate the holidays, not only with her brother, but all of their friends. And so that now she's feeling kind of rejected from her brother and being forced to be with the guy that she is like half in love with, who rejected her. She's just kind of... Every time he's standoffish with her and avoids her, she just gets more and more in her head. And then he finally kind of draws her out, and when he goes and gets grocery supplies, he gets some Christmas decorations, and then they decide if it's safe and they're able to kind of safely go to a Christmas tree farm that's nearby, they can get a Christmas tree. And then they finally end up breaking the tension between them, and then she almost immediately finds out that she wasn't the only person with a hit on her, that all of their friends had hits out on them as well. And then she gets very like upset because she's like, why am I the only one who's getting ostracized when everyone else has their hits on them? And then she finds out Nico got married. And she's just like, what the hell? I couldn't go to our like best friend's wedding, my pseudo uncle's wedding, pretty much. And so she like rage drives out of there. Somehow Raul ends up in the car, and she ends up kind of basically storming the castle and parks all haphazardly, and she's throwing a huge tantrum. And then people show up and there's gunshots, and Raoul gets a gunshot through the shoulder, but it's like, I mean, she's freaking out because she's shot, but it's like through and through, doesn't hit a bone. It's like very not like scary outside of the fact that it is a gunshot, which sounds weird, but I've read other mafia books where it's like they get hit and it's like seriously life or death, or like it could be a serious thing with like infections and depending on where it hit and how quick they need medical attention. And this, it was just, I feel like Nico's stab wound got more like, oh my gosh, he's been stabbed kind of vibes than his gunshot wounds. And then she basically is like, okay, we're gonna be together and I don't care what anybody else says. And then they're together. So there were elements I liked of this. I feel like because we had the mutual pining with them, it wasn't quite as insta-lovey, because that, I feel like it was also set up in the previous book, and the way that it was kind of put here, we could feel the tension between them and the mutual pining, because that first chunk of the book was, she was really withdrawing into her head more and more about the situations. This was, I feel like, around the same, like, 80-ish pages, but I didn't quite like it as much as the first book, so I'm going to give this one 3.5 stars. But I still really enjoyed it, and it was super fun, even though there was, like, the Christmas thing, but we never really spent a lot of time doing Christmassy stuff with them, and it didn't feel quite as Christmassy as the other book, so it's very, I would say it's light holiday, because really it's just her being sad that she can't be with her brother for the holidays, and then them going out and getting a tree, and then we don't even really see them decorate it. And then she throws a tantrum and they leave all of their stuff at the safety house, and she ends up like rage driving back to her brother's house, hours back to her brother's house in their pajamas because it's like middle of the night. But yeah, hello, this is Future Stacy popping back in. I totally forgot to mention that when I first found this series, there was only 2 books available. So the first book and the second book, which I have now read. But when I went to return it back to KU, the third book is coming out December 8th, and that is Diego, and I guess a maid in the house that he's kind of lusting after. And there's also a 4th book, but that comes out like the 22nd, I think, and that is the brother Santos. And it sounds like he kidnaps a rival person's daughter or sister or somebody like that. I just kind of glanced at it to see whose book it was. So I'll probably be picking up the other 2 books in this series when they come out. So the 4th one won't be till closer to Christmas, but I forgot to mention that. So back to Past Daisy. I already know I'm gonna love this tea, but let's see if it is still, for some reason I'm doing out of 10 this year instead of out of 5, so we'll see if it's an 8 out of 10 or maybe even higher. You know what? I'm just going to do it. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. It's just so good because you get that Earl Grey right away, and then the coconut starts to come through, and then it's really prominent in the aftertaste. And I'm a huge coconut person. That is so, yeah. 10 out of 10. But I usually leave my like high scores for like super specialties. So maybe I'll make it like a 9 or a 9.5 out of 10. But whatever it is, I enjoy this. And I don't know why I haven't bought like more than just a sachet of this. But I definitely need, next time I'm buying tea, need to get this one added to my cart. It's so good. If you like Earl Grey, definitely. And you like coconut, or either or. Definitely give this tea a try. I'm trying to get this down so I don't spill anything. But okay, I think that's all I have for you today, and I'm kind of excited that I have the next couple days already taken care of. Maybe I'll film a clip in the morning since I already know, but who knows. I am very much sleep in until the last minute and then get up, get dressed, get my stuff all ready, feed the kitty breakfast. I usually pre-make breakfasts so I can just heat them up at work or eat them and go. And I'd rather sleep in the morning and stay up late to get stuff done. But anyway, I'll stop blabbering at you. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like to leave me an emoji, why don't you leave me something like Christmas tree or Christmas ornament or Christmas decoration? And otherwise, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I will see you all tomorrow.